Have you ever watched a movie and thought, well, that was good, and you look online and there's a second one and it's pretty good as well, and then you find out there's a third and it's so dog shit you can't comprehend how it could exist, let alone exist in the series you just watched? Well, that's what this video is dedicated to show how much a mixed bag of shit trilogies really are. So we'll start off with a good one and then we'll go down the rabbit hole of shit, sort of like The Matrix, funny enough. Indiana Jones, which inspired some of the best video games ever made, like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. One of the best action movies ever made, one of the best movies ever made. Do you like Harrison Ford? Do you like ancient tombs filled with treasure? How about someone's fucking face melting off? The Indiana Jones, the Mummy, but better. Then there's Temple of Doom, which is pretty good if you can get past one of the most annoying characters in all of cinema. It's got a good mix of monkey brains and people's hearts getting ripped out of their chest and them watching it before they die. And then there's The Last Crusade. James Bond, Indiana Jones, and killing Nazis. What more could you want from a movie? Two of the best action heroes ever, murdering evil fascists, the best movie in the series, and probably the best Sean Connery movie on top of that. And that's where the series ends. And if you tell me otherwise, I will kill you. If you even reference a bomb and a fridge in the same sentence, I will murder you. And while trilogies sometimes get it right, like the original Star Wars or The Lord of the Rings, some get it horribly wrong, because these series become a cash cow, which is why so many of these movies get sequels, and not because of some artistic vision. So all the good ideas from the first two go out the fucking window, which is why the third in so many of these series, like The Godfather and Spiderman 3, which didn't know what the fuck it was trying to do. The first two established their villain pretty well. The third can't decide who the villain is. There's like 3 different villains. They've read the comics and were like, oh, this guy's good, that guy's good, I like this guy too. So there's no time to flesh out any of them, let alone one of them. The Star Wars sequels also prove that if you don't have some idea or some basic structure of what you want to do with the trilogy, it fails before it begins. Like Force Awakens, for example, isn't actually that bad. You know, it has its problems, but there's potential for the series to be somewhat good. And then there's The Last Jedi, which has so many scenes that could have been cut, and fight scenes that could have actually been good, like good or great even, with some focus on choreography. Then there's Rise of Skywalker, which is the worst Star Wars movie to date. And if you disagree, you're fucking insane. It's the most unrememberable shit. Something about Palpatine and Rey being related. I actually had to look it up because I couldn't remember. So she's like the daughter of Palpatine's clone. Like, he's got a freezer full of Sith cum, and he just jerks midichlorians into a vial and freezes them. One of my favorite characters of all time as well, Blade, has also suffered this fate, unfortunately, with the first movie being, fun, and it's a cult classic. It probably didn't age well, but who gives a fuck, it's great. It's basically The Matrix before The Matrix, but with vampires. It also helped spawn the high action horror movies that came after it, like Resident Evil and Underworld. Which, whether you think that's a good thing or not, who gives a fuck, they ripped you off Blade anyway. Then came Blade 2, which is amazing. It's even more action-packed than the first, and it has these things called Reapers, which are basically vampire zombies, which sounds ridiculous, but it's actually fucking great. And then after the best high action horror movie since Aliens, probably. We get Blade Trinity, which is fucking shit. Like, I want to like it, but I just can't. It's fucking shit. Like, what the fuck is this movie? It's pretty clear the problem here with these series in particular is that they start to generate some kind of money. And then, the good ideas from the first kind of get ignored. So then we get these sequels that are just pumped out to steal our money. So please, if you're going to make a trilogy, please have some idea of what you're going to do, so we don't get more dog shit like this, just so you can make your fucking money. Anyway,